What are you doing, Mr. Copper Dog? All righty. Woo! Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon for all of my Europeans, and good afternoon to my East Coasters, and good evening to my Europeans. It's gonna be a beautiful day today. It's a beautiful Sunday. It's Sunday, right? Yeah, feels like a Sunday. Yeah, totally a Sunday. Well, you know how this is. You know, we get to kind of like shuffle in here, get to talk. I get to reconnect with my wonderful community. Super grateful for you guys, and this is my only way to give back a little bit. Hello, everyone. Hello, live chat. If you're watching this later on, hang out with us. We're here to just ramble on and talk. Copper Dog, do you want to say hi to the chat? Copper, come here. Come here, good boy. Freaking love that dog. Yes, good morning. Ryan, cheers, my friend. That's one of my patrons right there. Long time no see. Pandak, I know. We changed things up a little bit. We're always moving and grooving. We're always growing. And really bouncing back, doing the every other sort of a thing. You know what I mean? Because when I was doing several tea times a week, that was a little bit too much. I was getting sick and stuff, and I'm not a sickly guy. I'm not a sickie. You know, like I'm sick maybe once a year, maybe. But I was sick like 7 times. Whew. I get to look for a new job again. Well, that's exciting, Paul. You never know. Oh, question. I love a good question. If you have questions, ring them out. And if I don't get to it, if I'm too busy rambling, just keep posting it. Question for you. How should I dress an anvil? Now, that is a fantastic question. Now, dressing an anvil, we're not talking about, putting some pants on it. We're talking about how to dress your anvil in primarily the edges, the corners, all of these edges, because when an anvil comes from the mill, it's usually coming with very sharp edges. Or if it's an old anvil, really beat up, chipped off edges, like anvils have been abused terribly in the past. Either just by people that don't know what they're doing in the art form of blacksmithing, which is totally fine. It's part of people's learning curve. That's okay. But if you have super sharp corners to your anvil, or if you have really beat up ones, this commentary coincides. So I don't like a super rounded anvil. What I like is about a 1/4-inch bevel. Yeah, about a 1/4-inch bevel. Imagine, let me grab something for you. When I'm saying a 1/4-inch bevel, I like to imagine like the same radius that a 1/4-inch bar stock has, right? This rounded edge, and if you can kind of see the corner of my anvil right here, it kind of lines up like that. So if you really think about it like an 1/8 inch, corner, 90-degree little 1/8 inch radius. You know what I mean? But I like that. But somewhere in my anvil, kind of nearby where my hardy hole is, where I won't be doing a lot of heavy forging, I like to keep a sharp edge. I like to keep a sharp edge there just in case I want to do a really sharp corner or something like that. But it's far enough away from my primary work surface and work area that I'm not dangerously getting close to it with some like real heavy blows. You know what I mean? Hammer. Okay, that makes sense. Good. I'm glad that makes sense. And if you're doing a lot of real heavy stuff, if you're working that anvil with a bunch of strikers and stuff, that hammers might be getting wild. Also, Wild Hammers, band name, called it. But you might even go with like a 3/8 bevel, 3/8 meaning the diameter. Yes, Snosh, good morning and happy late birthday to you, my friend. That's also one of my patrons. Hello, my friend. How are you? You know what? I'm doing fantastic. You know why I'm doing so fantastic? I mean, it's another beautiful day. Let's be real. But last night, my wife and I went to a lovely wedding around a bunch of lovely people. We even got sat at the fun table. It's not usually the maids and groomsmen and stuff like that. It's not the head table. It's usually somewhere out there. It's almost like the kids' table at Thanksgiving, you know what I mean? And we had ourselves a ding dong blast out there. That was so much fun. like I'm kind of sore in places I don't usually get sore, you know. I did a lot of dancing. I was dropping it like it was hot. I don't know if you know this about me, but I love to get up there and dance. What you do know about me is I'm not overzealous or excitable in any way. So, you know I kept my cool out there. It's your birthday next month, Paul. That's exciting. Good morning, Kendall. There's another one of my patrons. How are you, my dear? Love your designs. That's so good to hear. I appreciate that so much. And I'm amazed how you create your mind. Oh, and I hope you're having the best of days. You know what? I hope you're having the best of days right back at you. It was so funny. It's your son's birthday today. Well, Ryan, please give them my best. Give them all of our best. In rage, I see a member. You're standing out like a sore thumb. I love it. There's the ball pit. You'll be overzealous. You know what? I'm overzealous in a damn library. You can't take me anywhere. Life was just too exciting not to just be excited, you know? Oh, Jesse, thank you for asking that question. Jesse, how did the powder coating go? Mwah, chef's kiss. And what's the best part about that is the client is super happy with the color. Also, this just in. Beep, 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 beep. The freaking ginkgo gate is totally installed. It is fully functioning, swinging both ways, baby. It's so good. The glass went in perfectly, and I filmed the entire thing. I cannot wait to show you guys. I just can't wait to show you guys the entire build. You know, from in here all the way to the site, and it went great. There was a couple little hiccups, as they always pop up. Hiccups always pop up. We need the video. Rage, don't you worry about a damn thing. There'll probably be several videos because that was a hell of a build, you know. Oh, and Scout, hello and cheers, my friend. Oh, Zinc, well, I'm glad you think so. Yeah, it worked. It worked very well. There was a moment, and I didn't capture this, and I'm totally regretting that because I want to show you guys mishaps. I want to normalize like, oh crap, moments, you know. So this gate swings both ways, and it swings uphill. So it goes up into like a driveway situation. And of course, it's all like beautifully stamped and colored and sealed, you know, concrete. So I can't scratch anything. Oh my God, it would just be terrible if I did. So we installed it with the contractor and I, and we open it up and it stopped on the concrete. So instantly my blood pressure goes beep, like a steam whistle out the top of my head, you know? But all I did was add a couple things. Actually, I made a couple extras. And this is what I did. So on those hinges, right, you have this 22.5-degree angle with this hex bar. These are my cutoffs, and I was able to use my cutoffs from the hinges as a guide and a bit of a tool, if you will. But I cut out this brass to add bushings in it. There's bushings in them now, but I made some extras. And I wanted to add those in. Copper, do you want to say hi? Come here. I added these in there, and it bumped it up just but 3/8, and it worked out perfect. Copper, come here. And it's funny because I wanted to add brass bushings on the hinges automatically, so it all worked out. And of course, Mr. Copper Dog. What are you thinking, buddy? Breath stinks, man. But he's a real good boy. Yeah, it's the Copper Boy. Good morning. Good morning. He's a little slow to rise these days. Oh. We've been having a whole lot of fox activity. The second generation of foxes, mind you. So they never left. They were just having a cute little fox family. And now they got their little kids running around. But one laid one hell of a very impressive, example of their diet on my steel plate out here. And that wasn't fun. But speaking of fine furry little friends, I have a deep love for cute little furry things, you know. Well, this morning we had a bit of a victory. And it's sad because it's at the expense of a cute little furry thing. And I had myself one hell of a tenacious gopher in my beloved pumpkin patch. Every year, I grow a pumpkin patch where I actually asked my wife to marry me through poetry, through like our Edgar Allan Poe spooky night at like the 1st of October in the pumpkin patch, poetry in the pumpkin patch, right? So we throw it every year. So I have to grow a good pumpkin patch every year because you can't half-ass anything. You know, life's too short to half-ass. Could you lick the anvil? Atomic? I've done weirder things, but for you guys, who knows? Anyways, before I get totally sidetracked on that, who are you waving at? That was my mother-in-law. She was, visiting, and she was rolling out, and I gave her a little wave. Anyways, the pumpkin patch. So it's glorious right now. It's like Fern Gully over there. There's like big old leaves like this, tree stars. You know what I mean? And we got like 60 plants growing, healthy, happy, right? And then all of a sudden, to my shock and horror, ding dong, damn gopher was eating the roots like a carrot, just chung 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 chung, and then lets the entire plant die. And it's all vining out and all, it's glorious. And then it just kills it just like that. Well, it got 2 plants, and I had to set a snare. I had to set a trap, and unfortunately, it costed him his life. But you can't go endangering the pumpkin patch. For $200, is this where we are? Is this where I've reduced myself down to? Oh man. 10 out of 10 mullet? No, I mean, I just got long hair and it's just kind of tied back. But if I'm giving some achy breaky heart vibes, cheers. That was a grand slam back in the day. If you can pronounce my name in 2 tries, I'll date $20. What the? I'm lucky I even speak English. Are you kidding me? Oh no, it's nothing but consonants. I can't do that. I'm not even gonna try. I'm not gonna humiliate myself. And also, I do not want to offend you, of course. Don't break it. Yeah, right? Not the achy breaky heart. Catherine, hello, one of my patrons. Oh my God, we got a whole bunch of you. You can give, you know what? That's a great idea. And I bet they'll find it because that is 100% in their like little trade route. You know what I mean? I bet you they'll find that gopher. Circle of life. You know what I mean? Could you make a copper pumpkin for Halloween? And you know what? That's a great idea. I could make a cute little copper jack-o'-lantern. Wouldn't that be fun? Are you a blacksmith? You're darn right I am. Go check out my work. I hope you enjoy. But yes, been doing it for like 25 years now. I'm a blacksmith artist, an art smith, if you will. I have a lot of fun doing it, and what's really neat is I get to take you guys along the journey with me. You know what I mean? Not everyone gets to do this trade, and I'm really grateful to be able to share it with you all. Is the fawn and its mama still in your garden? That's another cute little furry friend story I got to share with you guys. There's been this little cute, we're talking a week-old little fawn that's been kind of cruising around, and I actually learned this. Grew up with deer my entire life, with, fawn, bucks, and does. But I didn't realize that fawns were bedded down during the day. Meanwhile, the doe was able to go off and feed and, make milk for her little baby. I didn't realize they got bed down during the day. I thought she was just cruising with them all day because whenever I see them, they're usually together. Or there's just a solitary doe, right? But yeah, she was. This little fawn was getting bed down like right there. Right behind you. And they were cruising around together, and they were just so darn cute. Ah. Ooh, Snosh, what is your current big project? Chat, I love the questions, and especially from you, Josh. Still the Zodiac sculptures? Yes, I'm about to start up Sagittarius. We just got the green light on that design. Takes a little bit of time because it's a collaboration, if you will, between the client and myself. But if you see behind me, you can see the frame that I built for the Steel Stampede. Let me actually grab you the plan set for that. So I built an exact replica of everything I need, right? Like, so the wall that is 90 degrees, 90 degrees from the railing that goes down. And then I ran this bar wild so that I can bend it into the pony wall of the stairs. Now, here's the crap. Here's the steel stampede, right? This is what I'll be building in that area. So I built these steps, right? So I can really intuitively create a nice curve and make it just really, really slick, you know? So yeah, I'll be forging all these steel and copper and brass horses. It's gonna be wild. So for those of you that know, we talked about this a little bit, I think with the patrons. I don't know if I've brought this up here. Correct me if I have. But I need some tea. But so for those of you that are familiar with Teddy Ramirez, he is my music composer on this channel. He composes all that beautiful, beautiful atmospheric music that accompanies my work. And I'm deeply grateful for his artwork, and he's just a wonderful guy. Any plans for the 4th? Yes, Rage. I am co-announcing my local parade. It's actually a big parade, but it's a lot of fun, and it's just one more way to give back to my community, you know? It's just a good old blast. Did you draw that by hand? Yeah. Yeah, it's all just by pencil and all that. What you doing, Copper Dog? What the hell was I talking about? Oh! No, lost it. Ah, Teddy. Where's my shop? Located on the central coast of California. Love it here. It's beautiful. So, Teddy Ramirez, he has several passions. One of them obviously being music and creating beautiful music, drums, all that stuff. But his other hyperfixation is pizza. And he makes amazing pizza. He's given me my share of his delicious pizzas. And he wants a super cool, like, custom pizza roller. So I'm gonna be forging him that. In exchange, we're gonna trade work for some more music. Now, I'm thinking something, you know, a good several pieces of music for the Steel Stampede. I'm thinking Dragon's Reach from Whiterun in Skyrim, you know, maybe like Plains District. There's a very specific song, you know what I'm talking about, from Skyrim. Also a little bit of Rohan, right? Whew. I'm thinking of amalgamation between those two because it makes too much sense, right? It's perfect. Hi, it's going great. Thanks for joining me. But I'm also thinking about maybe if, you know, because I'm going to be spending a lot of time on this and I might be able to get 2 pieces of like themes from him. I'm thinking about the Ginkgo Gate, right? Oh, and I had the plan set for that. Okay, I just built it. I just installed it. So my question to you is, in the chat, my question to you is, if you could help me design the music for the Ginkgo Gate, what would it sound like? Here's the Ginkgo Gate. I just installed it. I'll be working on the video of it soon, I promise. But it's stained glass, has a lovely puzzle lock that totally works. It totally works. I'm so glad. But it's got stained glass, and in this portal, you have a lovely, you know, like ginkgo tree scene. It's wonderful. So symphonically speaking, what does the Ginkgo Gate sound like? Sound off in the chat. Some leaving the wind noises, yes, maybe like chimes. Some chimes, rustling sounds, and like wind. I love that. I love it. Great, Scout. So creative. Something ancient. What does ancient sound like? The sound of glass tinkling. Yes, I love it. You guys are really on point. White Moon by Big Rice Piano. Really? White Moon. I'll have to check that out. Ethereal for sure, Catherine. Absolutely. And he's got He nails ethereal. I feel like ethereal is a very hard thing to achieve. Something elvish, nice. We have a Chinese friend who asked to make ginkgo leaves. That's fantastic. And I forged a ginkgo leaf keychain. Oh, that's awesome. I think a little bit of Chinese influence would be really cool in this. You know, there's a couple instruments that I do not know the name of. I would know it if I heard it, the name, that is, especially if I heard the instrument itself. But it might be kind of cool to lean into some Chinese, instrumentation. That would be great. Yeah, like Chinese, elven, glass tinkling. Yeah, I think that's really cool. It was a pain, huh? Yeah. Some deep sound underneath. Yeah. Okay, Jesse, if you were going to forge a suit of armor, what piece would you start with? That's tough. Probably chest plate. Chest plate. I like to start the trunk and move out, right? Definitely wouldn't start with the gauntlets, because it's the way you build everything, kind of from the bottom up and out. I would probably, the set between where the greaves meet the breastplate, that kind of joint, probably somewhere somewhere in there. Chris, hello from South Africa. Man, I love having the chat here. It's so fun to be able to connect with you guys and just kind of hang out. You know what I mean? Ooh, I need to do some stretching. Hit that dance floor last night a little hard. But it was fun. Sometimes you just got to get all that energy out, The sound of gems would work in your project. Oh, yeah. Bees, I like that. Yeah, the sound of gems and chimey, very, very lovely chimes. There's a very specific, it's not a xylophone, but it's in that family of percussion instruments. And I think it's like the glass xylophone. I think just every now and then a little chime of that would be really cool. Maybe just some harmonics, you know what I mean? From where am I? I'm Central Coast of California in the US. I love it here. Where did I go? A wedding. Yeah, just a lovely wedding last night and just had so much fun. Oh yeah, good harp. Ooh, you got me inspired. Perhaps a hammered dulcimer. Really getting into that Jeremy Soule kind of Skyrim vibe, especially with the, the Steel Stampede. I need to take notes. I need to start taking some notes. Ooh, the glass harp, invented by, it wasn't Thomas Edison. Who was it? It was one of the founding fathers. It was, oh God. It's on the tip of my tongue. Ooh. Benjamin Franklin. God, thank you. Ben Franklin. Appreciate that. My question is 3 up. Ooh, what's the question? Ooh, okay. If I were to dress an anvil, right? And we're not talking in pants. Would it be a good idea to have a sharper edge on the near side or the far side? From the rounded, you mean from the horn? I would say far side. Somewhere where you're not going to be really striking, doing some heavy forging, You want your sharp edges away. Kind of let me show you. Let me show you on my anvil here. So, I don't know if you guys can even see this. So, nice and smooth, 1/4 inch round. And then out here, I got really nice and sharp, where I can kind of in alignment with my hardy hole, where I can just barely miss it if I'm doing a real sharp shoulder on something. You know what I mean? And then it rounds back out to where some of my bending tools go. And I keep my anvil symmetrical down the center. I keep that all nice and symmetrical. But if you want to use the far side of your anvil as a type of fuller, you could definitely round, that area out way down. Round it out to like, even like ½ inch I've seen. Just bending, just chunking that down. Also, hang tight real quick. There we go. I don't know if I disappeared or not, but I changed the setting real quick. Ooh, Rage. Okay, Rage, you ask a really good question. Any plans to make something for us to buy again? Like a limited release? I've been thinking about it. Because for the, oh boy, the copper canopy steel tree, right? For the mission, the good old iron oak. I was able to make you guys a bunch of leaves like I did from the tree. And that was really cool. That was spectacular to be able to share some of that with you, And I wish I could just give them away for free. I got a mortgage and it's tough. It's really tough. But I have thought about it, especially in regards to the ginkgo tree, or the ginkgo gate, that is. For this tree limb, the ginkgo tree, I might have some leaves. I might have some leaves in mind for another limited release, but no spoilers yet. Don't hold me to it. Catherine, you'd be into something like that? Okay, it's good to hear. It's good to hear, and I'll try to make it obviously as reasonable as I possibly can. Ooh, copper trees to hang the copper leaves from. Totally. How did you like forging Ezran's crown? Ooh, Neptune. And Aurelius' twin blades roughly 2 years ago. That was really fun. That was a very fun project. Not only working with, Wonderstorm and Netflix, but it was so rewarding because those animators made it easy for me. I mean, it was a very difficult, commission, obviously. To really make that happen. Ezra's crown, it was a piece of cake. Still very fun. But Aurelius' blades were an engineering marvel. You know what I mean? Sorry, I got like a little bit of allergies going on right now. But what was so nice about that is the engineers, the animators engineered it to a way to where like it was so close to feasible. It was like right there. You know what I mean? Like I feel like so much of anime could just be totally made up. Made up physics and stuff like that. But they really gave good thought into how those, twin blades actually functioned. You could totally see the thought once I was like really sketching them out and, reverse engineering what they created. It was a wonderful thing. I really enjoyed working with them and building that for them. Did you try on the crown? I mean, I wasn't supposed to. I'll leave it at that. Because I'm certainly not the king of Cathalis. Cathalis? It's been a while. Not too reasonable. We value your not too reasonable, I see. We value your creativity and skill. Well, Catherine, that's very kind of you to say. It's very kind of you to say. It's difficult, like I have an apprenticeship program. I don't know if a lot of you know that. And we talk a lot about the business side of not only being able to build this stuff, be able to use hammer and anvil to create art with steel, but also the business side of things. And I'm going to tell you what, it doesn't get any easier. After 25 years, I still have difficulty, charging what it's actually worth. It's tough. Self-worth is really difficult. And I think it's really important to kind of normalize those conversations. Like during tea time, it's really nice to be able to be reminded of your worth, especially if you're doing creative ventures, which is pretty much all of you. You know what I mean? Like there's creativity in everything. If you're a paralegal, the way you organize everything, if you're like a dishwasher, how you organize, how you set your workstation up. There's creativity in everything. There's art in everything, I swear it. So don't forget about your self-worth, all right? Rage. It's so nice. The members are so easy to just bing, got you. Has anyone requested any sculptures from you, like Metamorphosis? Ooh, good question. Something like Icarus's demise would be cool. That's what I'm talking about. So that's the direction I really want to take my work, is big, awe-inspiring sculpture. Utilitarian objects like doorways, gates, and, staircases. It's all well and good. I love the challenge to make art and sculpture into something very utilitarian. It's a fun puzzle. But I cannot wait to really dive into I have no idea the bounds of my creativity. I have no idea what I'm capable of. When it comes to real sculpture, deep, meaningful things where I can maybe evoke deep and meaningful emotions from people. I think that's my true calling. But the answer to your question is yes. But I don't have the signatures on the contract just yet. Because when you're working with big works, huge stuff. And when I say huge, what I'm talking about is a roundabout. My patrons know about this. I've been letting slip what I might be building soon. But it's for a roundabout that's about 120 feet in diameter. Big circle, big space, giant canvas. And it would be a forced perspective sculpture that's about 20 feet by 20 feet by 110 feet. This massive build. And it's just going to be created from stainless steel, but it'll just be whimsy. And it'll just be really cool, very illusory, so as you're going around the roundabout, it'll constantly be changing and moving around. It's gotta be wacky. But we're still in delegations, right? We're still in deliverables. Who's expecting what of whom? And that takes a long time. And nothing prepares you for that. I'm used to just shaking a hand and then just going and building it. This is very new territory for me, and I don't know how I feel about it. Your growth mindset is inspiring. It's all about growth. Every day we're growing. Even some days, you take 2 steps forward and maybe you take 1 back. That's okay. At least one's a victory. But you know what? I never really thought about it, Catherine. But growth mindset, that's what it's all about. We're here to grow. I love I find religions fascinating. I didn't grow up very religious. I grew up very kind of spiritual, I guess you can say. My mom was a hippie. You know what I mean? And I think the different takes on incarnations and what we're here to do, I find deeply fascinating. Especially one where it's we're here as this is a school, kind of a soul school. And we're here to learn. We're here to, grow our empathy and all that stuff. And I love that point of view. I think it's very inspiring to just be your best self, to maybe inspire the best selves of everyone else. Right? I can't wait either. I cannot wait either, chat. Today I'm one proud Papa Bear. My son forged his own hammer. That's pretty darn incredible. Tongs and barbecue pick. That's what I'm talking about. Son and I, they are 5th generation blacksmiths. That's fantastic. Keep it going. Keep it going. We need them. It's very interesting. In this very AI age that we're kind of stepping our way into. I think the trades, real tangible craft, I think we're about to jettison ourselves into a new renaissance. It's not just me and my good old optimism talking. I'm a firm believer that we're about to just take off in the world of trade, world of bartering, because the pendulum swings both ways. Right now we're swinging in this really. I'm glad we have tools for people when it comes to menial tasks that shouldn't require your full brain, you can hand that off to AI. That's awesome. Good for you. That's beautiful. But I do believe the pendulum will also swing back and get into like the real tangible trades from, to knitting, to carpentry, everything, to stained glass, whatever. I'm kind of already seeing it. People getting the catharsis from working with their hands. Love my badge. Which one? My logo? It's pretty cool, right? Yeah, it's the logo, right? Bam. But those might be entering the shop if you guys are interested. It was kind of a trial run. We'll see. I'll put those in the shop if you guys are interested. I'm the first blacksmith in the 4th generation. That's awesome. Yeah, like that's how I didn't realize it was in my family for several generations myself. I didn't grow up around it. I just kind of took to it. And it's cool if we can get steel back into our family, into our bloodlines, or be the very first in your family that you know of. It's an old trade. I bet you all of us have some descendant or ascendant, descendant, ascendant. I don't know. I'm not a genealogy major, but we all have someone that worked steel. We have somebody that's worked every trade, I promise you. Everything. Just think of all the people that were required, to make you, to where we can share this moment together. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. I'm going to start getting my head spinning. I had, a couple too many old fashions last night to be thinking that hard. Ancestor. But I feel like there's a descendant and ascendant, right? That makes too much sense. But yeah, ancestors for sure. Oh, okay. Karam, what if Wonderstorm asked you to do Cullum's staff? Would you do it? Are you freaking kidding me? In a hot freaking second. I don't know who's I would be more excited about. You know what? I'll give you my top 3. No, I'll give you my top 5 things to build. The bow that splits in half. Wait a minute. What's going on? Mythic? Dude, what's up? You signed in for another 18 months. Thanks, buddy. Well, cheers, my friend. Mythic, you're always so supportive, buddy. But yeah, we're talking if Wonderstorm wanted to, commission me to make more dragon print stuff from Netflix. Heck yeah. So the bow that breaks in half, right? Dad Turela, I cannot remember his name right now. I'm totally blanking. I haven't watched the show in a bit. So pardon me. And, I don't remember anybody's name, dang it, but I could see it clear as day. So you got the bow that splits in half into the 2 blades, right? You got the evil wizard, his staff that you push the button or the gem and it goes and it does stuff. That'd be pretty legit. The sun staff, and of course Cullum's staff. Yeah, the weapon designs are pretty superb. Ray, totally, my friend. Ooh, you made some flat jaw tongs. Nice. Heck yeah. Oh man, you guys are fantastic. It's so much fun to share space with you all. I know I say that a lot, but it is really a delight. Ooh, there's a long one. All right, chat, let's lock in. Let's read this. Oh, maybe, wait, Paul, what'd you get? Wait. Would you have incorporated the hook and rayless blades? Seek, that's another really good question. So the hooks, we're like a whole new echelon of engineering when it came to those butterfly blades. Making it to where the hook worked and functioned, that was gonna be freaking major. They were gonna be twice as much time and twice as expensive, and that was just not in the budge. But that's okay. The rayless blades were cool enough, but trying to figure out how to make the hooks work in a speedy fashion where it's and then you got the hooks and then you got the blade. how freaking cool would that be? But everything's possible. With enough brain power and time, anything's possible. What about the powder box from Vox Machina? What was the powder box from Vox Machina? Powder box. Oh, powder box, the gun. 100%. I think, how cool would this be? You got bad news and you have powder box. If like bad news was powder box, but it just like went into like a rifle format. How cool would that be, right? 100% I'd love to build that. Paul, great question, my friend. Whoa, Neo, that's fantastic. Neolithic nuisance, fantastic name, by the way. Wow, that's so cool. Naya Smith. Wow, that's really neat. By the way, I haven't gotten notified of your Sunday chats, so I missed a few. Ray, that's okay. We're doing every other. We're doing every other, and I'll do like Sunday tea with the patrons. It's working out great. Next, I do live streams on Thursday evenings. Good to know. Forge and Fishing, I'd love to try and stop in. You did the blades perfectly. See, that means so much to me. You know, like, it's weird when you create stuff. Sound off in the chat. Do you experience this as well? Where it doesn't matter how much you might like or dislike what you created. Is it up to the audience? Like of how good it is, how valuable it is? Like for me, it's the audience sort of a thing. Audience meaning for sure you guys, obviously. But the client, anybody walking on the street, what have you. Like I need not so much the external validation. Maybe that's a little bit of it. But it's almost like I know it too intimately. I can't see it for what it actually is because I know damn near every molecule in that piece. You know? Like I'm too close to it to actually see it for what it is. Do you share that? That's a hard thing to overcome. You know, like you've looked at it for so long, it's just, you're immune to some type of cool factor. And you need somebody else to tell you like, oh no, that's cool. You did a good job. Okay, thank you. All right. I don't know if anybody else shares that. Sorry, let me catch up with the chat. I never seen a kettle like that. Most of the time they're round. Isn't it cool? I love that little kettle. Yeah, Scout's in here just, answering away. Thank you, Scout. Ooh, I invented a butterfly blade that turns into a hook like Rayla's blades. No way. But it's a different mechanism. Yeah, it kind of has to be a little bit of a different mechanism, which is totally fine. But yeah, like you need that extra mechanism in there, almost like a Swiss Army knife, if you will. It's not the same thing. It needs to be something different, fundamentally so. Copper, well, thanks for joining us, buddy. Come back over here. Let's go say hi. Come here. Come here, Copper dog. That's a good boy. That is 100% genuine Copper dog. Fix your ear. There we go. Forge and Fishing, thanks for joining me. The audience helps you with the art, with new eyes. Yes. Even if they've seen the process a little bit, it really helps to share the process a touch. You know what I mean? Yeah, when I create jewelry, I just want it to make it better. 100%. It can always be better. That's kind of the sickness of creating things, isn't it, buddy? It's a sickness creators have. We just can't help ourselves. We just can't help ourselves at all. Yeah, it's like a derringer. Totally. I do more of silversmithing for pendants and rings. Fantastic. I always love silver. It's beautiful work. Oh, is that the good stuff, Bear Bud? These lives are just kind of chatting. 100%. Yeah, we're just chatting. You know, it's just a fun way for me to be able to kind of get to know my audience, because then when I see your comments on videos and things like that, or see you like in our Discord or something like that, it's just so nice to be able to put like a personality, with your like username. You know what I mean? It's just so fun to be able to connect with you guys. Because like I'd just be shouting into the void. I want to like know you, all of you. Oh, option of what, of your work, what brings you joy. Absolutely. Catherine, you're always shedding wisdom on us. Hey, Paul, good luck with your application, and also good luck for securing a good position. I hope it's the right one. Ray, really good question. Have you tinkered with bringing Beery's hammer to life? I designed it to be built. Oh my God, that would just be so spectacular. Like, functioning wise, it makes iffy sense at best, because the gearworks and all that stuff are very sensitive to stretching and compression. Like if I brought that hammer down on something really hard, the force of instant stopping on the gearworks might flatten a tooth, or twist an axle or something like that. So it's a little difficult, but just for the showpiece and just kind of the sculpture that it would be fun. I might have to crush some watermelons, do some Gallagher business, but I would love to build Beery's hammer. I'd love to build all the things that Beery created for the party. Ooh, some bushings incorporated. Yeah, some type of shock absorption. Yeah, almost like a dead blow. You know what I mean? So like the hammer stops, but that kind of slows down just a little bit slowly. See, now you got me really thinking. God. Exactly. Yeah, right. Ray, I love it when we're on the same track. You know what I mean? There's nothing better than like when you think of something conceptually very abstract, and then you're able to talk to someone who like locks in and gets it. Good feeling. Like I feel that with my clients just about every time. And when that clicks, it feels great. Because your creativity is aligned. You're bonding so deeply, so fundamentally with your brains and your hearts. Because both are involved in creativity. Your mind and your kind of soul, So when like for the Steel Stampede, when I'm explaining all the intricacies of this thing, and like for instance, like I was showing them this drawing here. One of the client was like, "Ooh, what if each horse had its own like element?" Like I was like, one is copper plated with details of copper, one is brass, and like one is silver. You know what I mean? Like aluminum or stainless steel, and we just clicked. We're like, yeah, that would give so much like heart and soul to each one of them. Like how cool would that be? So we just totally clicked creatively in that moment, and that's just so much fun. When you're able to evoke that sense of play, that sense of passion for a second with people, there's nothing better. There's just nothing better. And you could do it in a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to be a banister. You could do it in a lot of different ways. It could just be bonding over the same show. Having your fan theories, or maybe you're shipping this couple, or I don't know. It's just so fun to bond through creativity and joy. It's the best. Don't you dare. Don't you put that in my brain. Adjustable joints, so you can like figure out where, like how you want them to be bucking. Like, okay, I've had it, this horse has been doing this for a while. And then you could like, almost like a puppet, put it in a different position. How dare you? How dare you put that mechanism in my brain? Oh no. Crap. Now I can't unsee it. Ooh, a crafter to crafter question. Love those. How do you feel about saying, if they pay, they say? Ooh, I'm unfamiliar with that. My family has always been against that mindset. AKA, if the customer if the customer demands, make plans. Interesting. Hey, Gymnast Ross, welcome. You're a member. That's your first membership, and look at your anvil. So your anvil icon will slowly heat up the months that you're a part of the membership. Oh man, you're gonna get some cool perks, but it's so much easier for me to see you in the chat. Welcome, my friend. You joined some really cool people. Hey, also gymnast, give the welcome to the fam. Look at the emojis. You have custom emojis now. Give them a whirl. You got a couple of Mr. Copper Dog too. Okay, so if the client pays, make plans. Demands, make plans. That's an interesting thought because we all got bills, right? The world's very expensive and not getting any cheaper. You know what I mean? So getting a client to want something from you, trusting that you will make good work, I think that's a huge honor, right? But that comes with a lot to it. And I've talked to my apprentices about this. Yeah, Ross, look at them. Okay, so I don't know if I've ever explained my tattoo, but this tattoo is a guide when it comes to clients. And it's kind of a triangle. A little bit of scratch paper. Okay, so my triangle of clients, right? Boom. It's either way. The first, all right, I'm gonna look at it, right? The first corner of my guide to working with clients, because okay, so is like the people. I'm trying to remember my symbol I created for all of these. Is the people, right? Are they enjoyable to work with? So the client reaches out to you, and this is gonna go for all of you. I'm just gonna give you a little bit of a little free knowledge into my creative process when working with clients, because I love working with clients. But sometimes you gotta follow your gut, and sometimes your gut doesn't give you very logical prompts. You're just like, I got a funny feeling. And sometimes it feels good to know why. Why does this client give me kind of a funky feeling? You know what I mean? Anyways, first item on the list is the people. Are they enjoyable to work with? Do they respect your trade? Are they treating you kind of crappy? No one needs to deal with that, right? The second one is the design, the project. How amazing is this gonna be to create? How well is this going to influence your portfolio? Is this an important work that you need to put under your belt? Because then you could offer it to more people, once you get proof that you're capable of building that, right? So you got people and you have the project. And unfortunately, we all live in a very capitalistic world. And the last one is profit, right? What what you created, is it suitably rewarded? And that, I like to kind of represent that with the scales. Are you fairly paid? Now I'm going to get to why it's a triangle here in a second. Yeah, good, fast, cheap, and analog. Yes, pretty much. There's an analog where it's do you want it fast and cheap? Well, it's not going to be good. If you want it good and fast, it's not going to be cheap, right? That's a good standard one, and I love that. This one works a little bit better for me. So, review: people, profit, project. So, The reason I have the triangle is I need at least two to say yes. I need two of those things in the triangle to be good. And if I have all three, amazing. That's the center of the triangle, right? That's the center. It's got all of them. But if it's only one, one corner of the triangle, that's no good. But what we're trying to get is at least two corners of this thing. Like there'll be something, like I'll be at a meeting or something, like I like to internally joke with myself. They'll maybe say something that like, boop, 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 triggers a little alarm bell. And, I'm just like, well, sorry, like I don't think I can work with you. You know what I mean? So you need at least two. Sometimes the project is a startup. Sometimes the project is a startup and you really believe in these people. Like a good example of this is the Alchemist Garden sign. I loved the people. I believed in what they were trying to do in my hometown, making incredible cocktails and food, but in this like almost celestial, exciting, creative, magical way. But they couldn't afford much. So the profit, could take a dive. That's okay. There's two still. So they were able to, pay me what they could afford, and that was plenty. That was enough. And like the rolling Hobador was all three. They paid me for my time, and they just let me create what I was able to do at that moment in time. And now I'm able to create more. And the people were just a joy to work with. I've turned down quite a few projects because they just could not make it onto the key. I hope that was informational, not too rambling and nonsensical. Do you have any questions about that? Sometimes reputation is the reward in itself. Rage, 100%. And I like to think of that as a kind of the project. Project kind of goes along with like prestige and things like that, because once you show a future client or future clients, plural, that you're able to do something that's never been done before, sometimes it's worth that investment in time. Sometimes you could take the bill the first time around, and the next 5 clients that'll all come back around. You know what I mean? That all makes a lot of sense. Ross, that makes me so happy, partner. And new member, go. That's very exciting. Can't go from building mansions to building outhouses. Yeah, like that's the exciting thing about constantly working on your build. And you know what? If your best buddy needs an outhouse, go build him an outhouse. Make a mansion outhouse, make it beautiful. I can imagine a nice little crystal chandelier in there, next to the moon cutout. I can see it now. But that is the beauty about constantly, like Catherine nailed it earlier in the stream. That growth mindset. What is like? How will your career be influenced with working with this client, building this project for them? It doesn't need to be self-serving. Usually, it's serving them. But think about your future. Tomorrow is obviously never promised, but tomorrow is important. King Leonidas. Oh boy, you're too kind. I feel like the Valhalla gates, though not finished, gained you some notoriety. Rage, 100%. Yes. Now that's actually very interesting. And I'm not here to tell tales out of school, you know what I mean? But that was very much like one corner of the triangle, that situation. And I was just like, the job was so cool, so intricate, so incredible that like I would do it damn near for free, and kind of did it for damn near for free. It's just so worth it. I don't know if we would be having this conversation if it wasn't for the Valhalla doors. During COVID, it popped off, and I have a lot to be grateful for. Yeah, Ray. And you know what? One day, baby, we're gonna finish them. Even if I have to sneak on the premises, like an elf, like a little gnome in the workshop, sneaking in and, slowly installing stuff without them knowing. You know what I mean? Ooh, the Habador and then the statue. Totally. I know, Mythic. I know. And just the thought they're not even cool yet. You know, like, let me grab some. Like, we still have so much to build. Look how much we got yet to build. So the Valhalla gates, the Valhalla doors, it's only this. I haven't even built all of this yet. And all of the stuff up top. Like, oh, we lost the dude. Like, it's remarkable how far we still have yet to go. Almost forgot our little guy. Ooh, to your wedding, Mythic. I mean, that would be super cool. I think they want to do weddings at some point. So that very well could be a possible outcome. Oh man, Ray, spot on, my friend. Not to mention all of the smaller details your prototype can't show. Absolutely, that's just the workings, not the bracketry, not the mounts, not the armatures. And of course, it's gonna be dripping with detail. It's gonna be a fountain of detail. Work is, Ross, your favorite type of work is prop making for like film and movies kinda, or like mainly like for cosplay? Please do tell. That's fantastic. Work hard so you have strong hands. Raise those around you. Oh, up to have strong arms. That's beautiful. Stand in your conviction in a strong back. Oh man, and love deeply to have a strong heart. Man, I think we could all, take something from that. That's beautiful. Man, that's fantastic. Cosplay mainly. Ross, that's so cool. We actually have quite a few cosplayers in the Discord. So if you're Ross, if you're interested, join our Discord. It's a blast there. We share work. We talk about just life stuff. It's a treat. It's a total treat. And there's a bunch of perks for Patreon members there as well. Mainly, I understood. I understood, Ross. We should spam Wonderstorm with comments asking them to, hey, you know what? Seek, I think that's how we get stuff done. I think that's exactly how we get things done. Good old pestering, the squeaky wheel and all that. Go for it. Don't JK me. Give them hell. That sounds great. I believe I'm on there, but I can't remember. Well, Ross, I'll look for you out there. If you're oh, and look at there, Casey, for the win always. Thank you, Casey. Yeah, Casey and I, we were dancing fools there last night. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, last night at a wedding. I just love weddings. Everyone's just in their best state. You know what I mean? So fun. Oh. Ooh. Golden Land. Okay, I'll look it up. I'll look that up. You bet. Right, I'm the definition of ADHD. Yeah, it's tough. I draw, tattoo. Yep, jack of all trades. I dig it. Work on vehicles. It's so lovely to have like really good tools in your toolbox. And when I say tools, I'm talking about trades, skills. Like different arrows in your quiver, feathers in your cap, all that stuff. And you know what? When I do my apprenticeship program, like it's full of people, it's full of different types of people all around the world. Some are looking to do this like I do it for their work. for their entire job. And that's amazing. But you don't have to. Sometimes it's just nice to like, oh, if I need to make an S hook or if I need to make a bracket or some hinges for myself, it's just nice to know how to do that stuff and to have steel in your toolbox. Awesome, you guys. After 18 months, I finally joined the Discord. Mythic, and it's better for it, my friend. And it's totally better for it. The last prop that I worked on was a pair of scissors. Ooh, sharp, dangerous. Scissors that are about 8 feet long, give or take. That's terrifying. That's horrifying. That gives me like Pyramid Head vibes. Dragging that big old sword of his. Oof. Wow, I'm curious what the material you used. Was it like a foam? Also, who has 8-foot long scissors? That's, like I'm like thinking about like what ribbon cutting are you doing, man? Oh, a vine and steel. Oh, caretaker zombie hero. Caretaker zombie hero. That's fun. Instantly, I'm thinking of Billy from Hocus Pocus. Still want to dabble with metalwork. Yes, welding eventually. You absolutely should. I feel like everybody, no matter what your walk of life is, should have a little bit of steel in your toolbox. Now, just have nothing to start with. Ray, that's totally fine. You don't need much. Truly, you do not need much. I think somewhere in here on the tubes, I have my 5 tips for a beginner. You start in the trade. Go check it out. Yeah. Well, guys, I'm going to leave you to your day. I'm going to let you have, Copper, and he knows the magic words. He's like, it's time to go inside. Copper, come here. Come here, buddy. I need to leave you guys to your day. It's a beautiful Sunday. I hope how much you have left of it, those Europeans out there have a little less than we got. Copper, come here. Because, it's still like 11 for us over here on the west. But, all right, Mr. Copper Dog, buddy. Well, guys, it's so much fun to talk to you all. I love being able to like bond here with the chat space, bond with my lovely community. You guys are so creative. You guys are so much fun to just kind of hang out and talk with, isn't it, Copper Dog? Copper's like, get me out of here. Like, I'm ready to go inside and have lunch. He knows it's it's lunchtime. But it's just really fun to be able to share some space with you all on this beautiful Sunday. You got a great week ahead of you. But I hope this was a little uplifting, But freaking love you guys. Don't forget to freaking love each other, okay? Get out there and strike true. All right, everybody. Happy Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.